Hello, everyone! The wonderfully strange world of Gumball has now been released, and the first 16 episodes are available. So today, I'm going to see what the first chapter, titled The Hamburger, is about, to give you a taste of this new season. On the way, I'll tell you what else awaits us in the rest of this new series.
First is chest pain. Then comes irregular heartbeat. Then palpitations. Your body is damaged on the molecular level.
Stay with me, because the ending is a revelation you won't want to miss. The episode kicks off in a way we've seen before, with the iconic Watterson house and its glitch effect. The action then takes us to Gumball and Darwin's bedroom, where we see a familiar scene from the teaser. Gumball wakes up covered in dust and asks Darwin how much time has passed. In a panic, Gumball exclaims that they are late for school, to which Darwin calmly reveals, about 7 years. After the series intro, the real chaos begins. At school, Miss Simeon, unsatisfied with Mr. Small's previous explanation, decides to take matters into her own hands. With an unusual seriousness, she uses the poor counselor as her guinea pig, projecting shocking images of what junk food does to the body.
First is chest pain. Then comes irregular heartbeat. Then palpitations. Your body is damaged.
The entire class, with wide eyes, is horrified and in shock. It is in that moment of revelation that Darwin, visibly affected by what he has seen, swears to Gumball that he will never eat a hamburger again. The impact of the demonstration is such that his promise feels like something unbreakable. Back at home, Gumball, with his stomach rumbling, starts prowling the kitchen in search of something to satisfy his appetite.
Stop it! This food is bad for you!
However, every time he tries to put something in his mouth, Darwin, now a health vigilante, snatches it from his hands, deeming it junk food. At that moment, to complicate things further, Richard arrives hoping to share a family feast of hamburgers. Upon seeing the food, Darwin exclaims, "This food is bad!" And in a failed attempt by Gumball to recover the hamburgers, they suffer a fatal fate. Poor Richard tries to save them, but they end up as mush after a series of catastrophic events. Still hungry, the brothers go out into the street looking for healthy options, but they are met with an incessant bombardment of junk food ads and billboards, making it the only thing they craved. This is where the series begins to show its sharper side, revealing the first major theme of social critique, something that has truly impressed me. With his gaze lost in the omnipresent junk food advertising, Gumball is about to succumb to temptation, but Darwin intervenes and drags him away, taking him to a place that supposedly serves organic food. To their surprise, the person working there is none other than Larry. After placing their order, the brothers realize, with a touch of mockery, that what they have been served is, in essence, a hamburger, but with its ingredients simply disarranged, like a deconstructed version that is no more than a sham. And it's at this point that it's worth taking a small pause. We have to acknowledge that technically, a hamburger is not junk food by its very nature. The base, with protein, carbohydrates, and some fat, is made up of fundamental ingredients that, in themselves, are not harmful. The real problem arises in fast food chains, where the meat is ultra-processed, the bread is refined, and everything is loaded with sugary sauces, preservatives, and a large number of chemicals designed so that the food can be preserved for days. This is where the concept of ultra-processed food comes in, which is what truly harms our health. In fact, there are shocking studies that suggest that consuming a simple cheeseburger can reduce your life expectancy by up to 9 minutes, and a diet soda by up to 12 minutes, just because of the cumulative impact on your body. However, if you prepare a hamburger yourself at home, with quality meat, whole wheat bread, and fresh vegetables, it can be a perfectly healthy meal. That is, as long as you don't accompany it with an overdose of soda and French fries. But anyway, getting back to the episode, Darwin, with his new conviction, realizes that what they had on the plate was, in essence, a hamburger, so he refuses to eat it, and they both leave the restaurant. After a noisy concert of stomachs, the two brothers look at each other in desperation and realize a harsh truth.
Todo era alegría y felicidad hasta que tienen que ir a pagar.
That'll be $3,078.99.
Are you delirious? What kind of obscene prices are these?
Harsh truth. Eating healthy in Elmore was an almost impossible task due to the obstacles that the food chains themselves put in their way. With a new determination, they decide that the only way to eat well is to do it themselves, and so they head to the supermarket. But their optimism fades as they walk down the aisles, where they discover with frustration that the products advertised as low in sugar or low in calories actually had more harmful ingredients than the regular ones. As a last resort, and with a feeling of defeat, they opt for the organic fruits and vegetables section. However, their joy completely disappears at the checkout upon realizing that eating healthy was extremely expensive. This scene is a clear and painful critique of the system, which seems designed so that only people with money can afford a healthy diet, pushing the majority to depend on ultra-processed foods for a matter of accessibility and cost. For Gumball and Darwin, with their empty pockets, they can only afford a single avocado, which sadly rots in their hands before they can eat it. With nothing left to do, their next step is to rummage through the garbage in search of anything edible, a desperate act that is stopped by the sudden arrival of Larry. This moment is another sharp critique of the system, which prefers to burn or let food rot rather than allow someone to take advantage of it. With no other viable option, the brothers see that the only way to get food is to plant it themselves. Filled with hope, they set to work on their garden, but when everything is ready, a new and absurd obstacle presents itself. Larry reappears to inform them that they cannot consume their own fruits because the copyright of the seeds belongs to his mysterious boss. When Gumball and Darwin learn the shocking truth that all of Elmore's businesses are owned by the same man, their frustration turns into a determination to confront him. They decide to go to his office for a little visit and demand an explanation. Upon arriving, they are met with a scene as absurd as it is revealing. Larry, dressed in a skirt as a secretary, greets them, a direct satire of gender pay inequality. Finally, they meet the mastermind behind it all and are in for a surprise, a gigantic corporate mogul who is, literally, a hamburger. This villain explains his cynical business philosophy through a slick and manipulative commercial. In it, he justifies his actions by saying that people are too lazy to cook and prefer the convenience of junk food, a philosophy that, deep down, considers them dumb for allowing themselves to be manipulated. And when all seems lost, Gumball and Darwin, driven by desperation and hunger, make the most radical decision of all. They eat the hamburger, bringing a hilariously dark and literal end to the episode's central conflict. I'm gobsmacked by the number of thematic layers they managed to pack into a single episode. The series doesn't limit itself to being just a comedy. It dares to launch a handful of sharp critiques at our consumer system, ultra-processed food, the elitism of organic products, gender inequality, and corporate monopoly, without forgetting the topic of food waste. The most impressive thing is that all this narrative weight doesn't sacrifice either the humor or the essence of the characters we love so much. The series has returned more mature, but without losing the fun. And the animation, it's simply beautiful. The AI episode with Nicole, for example, is pure cinematography. Now, if we move on to what awaits us in the rest of the season, things get interesting. To my surprise, in this first look, the Big Void storyline seems to be on the back burner. There are no direct indications of Rob or the heavy lore that many of us expected them to pick up. Although Molly makes an appearance in some episodes, which is curious given her connection to the Void in the original series, there are no obvious clues that they are addressing that part of the story.
But my boss refuses to let anyone salvage unwanted food. I have to dissolve
The story. It could be that they are saving it as the main course for the season finale, or perhaps they are building a new kind of lore in a more subtle way that we haven't yet detected. I need a much deeper analysis to unearth all the hidden references, because if Gumball has taught us anything, it's that there is always more than meets the eye. If you're asking for now, The Wonderfully Strange World of Gumball is only available on the Hulu platform for the United States and unfortunately only in English, with no Spanish dubbing. But according to official information, it will arrive on Cartoon Network and Max internationally in 2 months, so all we can do is be patient. This was just a sneak peek. My plan is to dive deep into all the episodes, and tomorrow you'll be able to watch a new video where I'll break down all 16 chapters in detail, looking for any clues, references, or hints related to the great mystery of the Void or the hidden lore of the series. So get ready, because the real adventure is about to begin. And if you don't want to miss a single detail of this journey through the wonderfully strange world of Gumball, I wholeheartedly recommend that you subscribe and hit the bell. A huge hug, everyone!